Okay, so here I am back again, and so basically what I did was I cut the other side because this side I touched up the arm, remember, because I wanted to have a better edge going across the midline, okay, and also here the finger slit, right? And here's a trick that you could do with these already laid out, okay, these laid out. What you could do is where you know what, you could lay out, let me just grab this, okay, let me just press I'm gonna just like that because it's starting to annoy me right now. So with this here, okay, and this body, all right, I'm gonna do a cut, edge mode, cut here and here, okay, you see that? That's correspondingly over here, you just don't see it right there, okay. Shift right click, cut, because once I cut there I can fillet a little bit better. Alright, so let's see what that does so you can visually just see what's happening. I'm in UV mode, I selected that, okay, ignore that is cut in half. There's a point to that, why I did that. I'll go to unfold, I close everything else, open unfold, tab, and press unfold. Now you see over here it unfolded. This is actually not bad, and it cut at the bottom here, crotch area, see? So when you cut it, it gives the opportunity to unfold nicely. I'm just trying to show that section right here, okay? And then so I did all of that, and then so I can just, I'm selecting the faces to help you see, coordinate what you're looking at. All right, so that's the rear. All right, so this is the front, okay? So we're gonna go and grab all of that, press E, I'm just gonna rotate it, okay, so you can kind of see better. So this is what you're looking at here, this is this, all right? So now you got all of that. I'm gonna move that here, and I said I was gonna do the UV texture grid, but first things first, I'm gonna have this, right? I'm gonna delete my history, edit, delete by type history, right? And I'm gonna do edit, duplicate special option box. I'm gonna just do a instance, not instance, but a copy, okay? I'm gonna make a copy, edit, reset, copy, and I'm gonna do a translate on the scale on the negative -1, okay, just that, hit apply. So I made a copy, and this is not an instance, I repeat, this is not an instance, it is a copy. So this, when I select it, is here. When I select this, it is also here, okay? And when I press this, it shows that it's okay, it's blue. This is okay too, it is also blue. But on this half that I just made, right, I'm going to UV, I'm just going to select them, I'm going to move them here for a bit. Then I'm going to grab this, and I'm also going to grab this. Alright, so now you see both of it. I'm going to do a mesh combine. Okay, see now it flipped it. Okay, the reason why it's red is because this side over here was originally at a scale of -1, and so blah blah blah, all that stuff basically just made the UVs inverted inside out. Okay, that's why it's in red. I'm gonna just click here because the color's annoying me, and then what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna merge the vertices, right? I combined. Did I combine it? Yeah, polyunite. I combined it. Then now I'm gonna have to go in and in the midline select that. Okay, I'm in vertex mode and I selected this midline. Only that. Shift right click, merge vertices. Merge vertices option box. Have it set to 0.001. You see over here vertices is 98. Hit apply. Now it's half of that, give or take. So it merged it, but before it was not merged. Right? So that's a trick where you can get the other side without doing the work, without having to deal with symmetry in here and all of that. And basically where I'm gonna turn that on, right? So, and this is a good time to learn more about sewing. Okay. So, a little edge mode, zoom in, select that, double click. Oh, I'm just gonna grab up to here, press 1. This helps me see better. Put on shift and drag select. I don't want this though. I only want the outside. Put on control, do a marquee box all the way up to here to deselect it. So I only want this. I'm gonna click here so you can see it. I only want that. Okay. Correspondingly, he also lights up. Now I'm gonna go. Oh, before I even do that, I'm gonna select this. Okay, close that. Go to selection. Grab it in chunks. This is a UV shell, and I'm gonna go show you a new tool. It's good to know. Under transform, okay. Close everything else. Flip. And this should be you. I flipped it, okay. This, flip. This, flip. This, flip. And this, flip. Okay. Now we're all good to go. Then I'm gonna come in here. I'm gonna close that. Shift. I'm gonna right click. Go to edge mode. I'm gonna select that. I'm gonna go press this because the color is annoying me, so you can see better as well. Shift and click. Put on shift and double click. Okay, that way we can just grab a section. Right. Then I'm gonna go shift right click. Move and sew. Okay, there you go. See. Then this guy right here. Right, this guy right here. I'm gonna go selection, UV shell. I'll move this on the other side. Remember, this side is his back. Okay, see, watch. See, that's his back. And this is the other back. Now I aligned it. Now I'm gonna go and edge mode. Grab here. Over here, I'm gonna hold on shift, double click. So I only grab a section. So that way you don't have to go click, 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 click. Right? Now shift right click, move and sew. Oof, that's kind of nasty. Then you can go to shell mode, select the shell. I'll close my selection tab, unfold, hit the unfold button. Nice. One more time. Then maybe try optimize. Didn't do much. Anyway, so there you go. I'm gonna press E, rotate it. Like that. Okay. God damn, that's annoying me. UV mode. So here, alright, and I'm just gonna put it here for now. Okay, this is just temporarily, don't worry about it. Be careful of how you grab things too. Alright, fine, I'll grab the shell. Good. Okay. So that's how you do that. Last thing, I want to go back and so you can do that. So you can do that method, you know, where you could just, regardless if you modify the vertices and the other side is not updated, you could just delete this half, right? So you could do one half of the shell, okay, you know, here and here, you know, you could just delete the half and regardless, okay, and just lay out the UVs for this half, and then you know, have the shell laid out, you know, like even if it's just half of a face, it doesn't matter. Then you do your what I just showed you. You duplicate it on the other side, and you merge. And you combine it. Then you merge the seam line, and then you do this. That's pretty decent fast, and it works. See, you could do that. All right, so now I'm gonna show about the UV grid. So we'll just close this for now. I need to pop open my hypershade, which is this guy right here. Alright, we'll close this prop editor. So you select this. I'm going to delete my history for now. It's fine. And if you want to know what shaders attached to that, you can just go click on, I'm going to wipe this out, pretend I got a whole bunch of stuff here, I want it cleared out. You press this, 3 stars. Then you select this and you say, what shader is it? You click on this right here. This guy right here. Then from here, I need to attach a texture, UV grid texture. So I need to go to my attribute editor, okay. Then I need to go under color. Right, it's gonna pump into your color. That way you can see it. Press on the checker box. This will create a render node pops up. Basically, you need to make a file container box, which you will dump your UV texture grid onto the file container box. And this here, file, is your file container box. Click it, and you'll notice this automatically links to that because I clicked on the checker box, and that led to this and this when I clicked on the file icon. Okay, right now it's empty, there's nothing in here. So this is a container that leads to your shader. Okay, I'll talk about this later. This here, I'm gonna click on the file folder icon, and where the hell is it? Make sure to put it inside your source images. Let me find it, I'll be right back. Alright, so here's the one I have. Number tile, okay? I think I'll share this with the class. And hit open. Okay. And if you don't see it here, right? Press 6. There you have it. And as you can see, it's a certain... Oh, it's kind of ugly. Guess it doesn't matter, right? Yeah, it doesn't matter. It's just ugly to look at. The file here, alright? I want it to be smaller. I want the grid to tile. I want it to tile because it will help me to see any bad stuff going on with the UV mapping. So that means I need to go to here, this little box. These are all, this is called a node, N-O-D-E, node-based system, where they're linked up like this. Okay. So this basically means that I can in here under the attribute editor for this place 2D texture. Sounds all fancy and you got all these numbers going on. Basically, if you wanted to repeat, there's this section called repeat UV. Put in like 5 by 5 and you notice now it does this. Okay, you could do in 3 by 3, but the main thing is the numbers have to match up. Okay, that's the main thing, number one. You know, whether it be 2 by 2 or 4 by 4, 10 by 10, doesn't matter, but it just needs to have the same number under repeat UV. That one over there for him. This one, it's good to name it. Name him UV Grid. It's always good to name him. This here is your default Arnold standard surface shader. That's will always be here. Okay, so you don't have to really name it. Later on, when you make your own shader, custom shader, specifically for the model, you'll name it. For now, this is just what it is. Alright, so far it looks okay. I'm gonna pop open my UV editor. I'm gonna close my outliner. I want more room. Now I'm also gonna yank this out. I don't need this. Alright, I'm gonna make this smaller. There. Okay. So I'm gonna turn that off. It's annoying. Now, what you want to look for is you know, any discrepancies in size. Alright, so far it's okay. You see here, the numbers are bigger than these. Alright, that means that there's a size discrepancy. So I'm gonna grab my shell. Right, I'm gonna grab this shell and that shell. I'm gonna grab both of it. Right. So you see here, the numbers are small. Also, when you look at this, okay, how big the shell is, right? Vice versa, how small the shell is, determines how much texture information you can store in there. Okay. Basically, if this were an island, all right, it's a big island, so you can fit a lot of people in it. But if this island was small, you only can fit so much people in it, right? And you could think of that people as being pixels for texture painting. Okay. And then later on, you're gonna learn about the size of your canvas when you export as an image. Like there's 1K, 2K, 3K, 4K image sizes you can export. That plays the definitive role in terms of your pixel density. You know how much texture you can paint in there. And that's gonna come up soon. But for now, your islands. And for this one, since it's underneath, it kind of sort of matters only a certain extent, you know. But just to be safe, it's good to kind of scale it big so that the numbers kind of sort of matches up. Okay, see? Okay. So this is actually a good size, I think. Right, maybe. You know, the only time you're going to see the underside of the foot is when he's walking and if he has floppy feet. So, you know, you could probably get away with a little bit smaller too. Something like that, maybe. You know. See, but still, this is bigger than that. See the numbers, right? It's still bigger. Bigger than that. This is still bigger than that right here too. So it's a pretty big size. It's bigger than it should be. So if you make it small, oh wait, no. If you make it bigger, the numbers get smaller. That means that this is more true to scale. See? That's what I'm trying to get across. Right? The bigger the map, your texture shell island, your shell, right? And it's the numbers get smaller. That means it's more aligned with the rest of the mesh, rest of the UV size, right? But since this is the underside, I could get away with being smaller, maybe around yay much. And yeah, so I'm gonna put that over here. So that's his right side. This is his left side. Okay. You know what? Maybe you want to make it a little bigger. Yeah, don't be. It should be cheap about it. All right. So then you just match up to see. God, that's annoying. But so annoying. You want to match up to see if this and this kind of lines up. Not the grid lines, but you know the size. If they're comparable. Okay, if they're comparable, they're more or less comparable. Yeah, because I didn't really scale them up. Do the fingers and this, are they kind of comparable? More or less, yeah. Because I didn't really uniquely scale them, you know. So long as you don't, you know, custom scale them, like how I did with the foot, should be okay. But for whatever reason, the foot, when it was UV mapped, it made it small. So that, which was peculiar. Anyway, so this, and this. Let's look at the head now. There's the head. The head could be a little bit smaller because of the numbers is bigger. See, if the number is bigger, that means that well, let's look at this side too. You see these stretching? Sometimes they can't be avoided. Okay. And you could go and try to mess around with it, but it's just a headache. Alright, so I'm looking at it, and this here, you see how it's doing this? That's because it's doing that. So let's say, alright, so you could do textures number tile and have this on. Okay, that way you could see this. And then turn that on. Oof, that's nasty. Alright, so there you go. So that's that. Alright, so everything seems to be okay. You know, you could, oof, I'll turn that off. The head, you know, usually the common theme is for like the head, you could kind of scale it bigger because it's more important. Alright. But the only thing you have to worry about is if when you texture it in Photoshop, if the texture sizes match up. But yeah, but typically, you know, the head could be a little bit, so I'm gonna undo that for now. For now, I'll just leave it alone. But you know, you could experiment and make the head a little bit bigger. And then from there, you just gotta put everything back in, right? Now just match it up. Make sure that they don't overlap. Make sure they're not too close, right? Because you know, that in itself could be an issue. So there's a better way to align this. There's a couple options in here to tile it better. But for now, you could just eyeball it. Just to fit it in. And then from there, you can just select all of it and just kind of scale it down. And I universally scaled it down. Universally. Do that. So one could argue that, hey, there's a lot of wasted space, you know. But for now, since this is an intro course, it's okay. I mean, you could go and nitpick and scale it up and try to just smash it in there and just squeeze it in like this, um, like that. We just have to make sure everything is good, and just dump that in here, and then then it starts to get kind of hectic. See, it's starting to get hectic already. Maybe do that, and then maybe just grab that, put that over here. All right, so it looks like it's working out. I could do that and grab that, put that there. Right, so that was maybe a good thing to do, because I definitely made it bigger. You could grab it again and try to scale it bigger, and just kind of fit it in, fit it in. I'm gonna look to see what tool it was to automate the fitting, but I kind of like the idea of showing manually placing it in there, so you kind of know, what to look for. See right there, you want to avoid. This is as far as you want to get usually, right there at the edges, right? You want to, like I said, avoid overlapping. Okay, this is why I kind of want to show this, right? To manually do it so you can see what to avoid, like that. See right there, so you can kind of want to, you have to kind of wrestle with it for a bit. See, avoid getting too close. Maybe do something like that. Grab that, and do that. There. I think this is. Ooh, that's not good. Avoid touching. Yeah, as far as it should go. So yeah, yeah, that's pretty much it. So that's for that one. Okay, so that's what 27 minutes, and then you gotta do the same for the. Oh. Oh crap. I merged this side. I should have merged the chest. Yeah, because the chest is where you're gonna see a lot of if you split here, it's not good. Because it's split on the front chest, see? Right here? This is where it's split open. That's where my seam will show. So I thought this was my front, so I have to delete it. So this is good to show mistakes. So I selected that, edge mode, shift right click, cut. Alright, and cut it. Then I'm gonna grab the shell. I'm gonna grab that shell. Maybe like that shell. Alright, grab this side. Okay, grab this, move that over here, grab that, move that over here. Okay. So all of this is on the right side. See? So now here, I'm gonna be in edge mode. Select that edge. Go here, hold on shift, double click. Okay. Shift right click, move and sew. Let's see what the option box has. Oh, doesn't matter, hit apply. When it does that crazy wonky stuff, you can just grab it, shell mode. You can go close the selection, open an unfold tab, unfold, okay. Maybe optimize, right? Kind of relaxes it, like that. See? Yeah, that's good enough. And then just rotate it. There you go. Ooh. Oh. Yeah, this is not the Yikes. Alright, you see that? I'm gonna press 6. Let's see how the sizes are looking at the I press edge to get out of the shell mode because it gets annoying. You can go right click in edge mode, you know, or object mode, click outside. So I'm just looking at the size. Looks to be okay, right? More or less in the ballpark, right? See? Alright. Then you grab it. Then I gotta touch this up. This is too gnarly. Selection, right? Grab this, lower it. Okay, grab all of it, right click and scale. So you just align it, something like that. Alright, I could work on it some more, but I gotta get out of here. So there. Alright, then after that, yeah, last thing you do, I mean, obviously you have the robe and stuff, right? But at least for the body, okay, lay it out. Then you do the important thing, last important thing is here, UV snapshot. Okay, that guy. Make sure you have this selected though, right? Make sure everything's here, right, in object mode. Then it's gonna ask you settings, file name. What's the name of it? Out UV underscore body. Name frog king underscore body underscore everything, or body and head. Something that I know what it is. Don't be lazy, make sure to name it. Next super important thing is here under image format. You default is IFF, is fine. Size, this is where it's really important. And D2L, it says at least 1K 1024 by 1024. You could, but why not just go you know, go full bling and make it 2K, right? Don't go more than 2K. From what I know from my experience, the bigger the map, I believe the render times starts to pick up a lot too. So if you try to get nuts and make it 4K, if I'm not mistaken, the render times takes a hit too. Yeah, at least in terms of memory and everything else. So yeah, 2K should be pretty much good. Leave everything as is. Alright, check. Okay, and that's it. Make sure you know where it's getting saved to. Projects default images. Okay, it's under images, not source images, but in images, apply and close. And it says over here, saved file. Okay, over here you have to look for it. Okay, and I'll show you right now what it is. I'm gonna open up Photoshop. I'm almost done. File, open. Alright, and I'm gonna look under documents. My projects default images, out UV frog king body and head. See how useful that is to name it. Hit open. Alright, so here it is. It don't look like much, right? You can barely see it, but those are your outlines. And here you do Control N, as in Nancy. No, Control Shift N, right? Hit OK. I'm gonna have this underneath layer 0. This I'm gonna press G as in George for the paint bucket. You want the paint bucket, make sure it's white. Click. Press V as in Victor. Now this is what you have. Here is your first ever UV map for your character. The process is the same for hard surface modeling. I may make a video tutorial on hard surface modeling UV mapping. Okay, and then you just start painting. Paint, 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 paint. You know, if you want to put dark bags underneath his eyes is there. Maybe if you want a pinkish nostril, you know, there's your option, right? Okay, and be careful about the seam lines. Okay, be careful about that seam lines in terms of texture painting. Yeah, and I believe that's it. Yeah. Oh, and when you do the UV map, it may or may not matter if you're in smooth preview or in low poly, but generally it's just safer to make it in low poly mode, level 1, and then do the UV map. This here seems to be level 1. I gotta double check that. Sometimes it can throw you off a bit. Anyway, that's about it. You do your texture painting, but name this as UV map. Okay, when you're done, right, let's say this is your texture. Control Shift N, make a new layer. Texture, right? Pretend. Then this is your texture. Blah 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 blah. Right? Pretend this is your texture. Okay. Right. That's your texture. Pretend. Then you go Control Alt S. Right. But number one thing is turn off your UV map. Turn off your UV map. Okay. And your texture is underneath your UV map. Okay, see, here's your UV map and here's your texture. Okay, your texture is underneath the UV map. That way you can see it. Or sometimes you could, you know, put it on top, the texture. But if you put the texture on top of your UV map, you can't see what the hell's going on. So usually you just put it underneath. And also your UV map, instead of normal, you set it to like screen or lighten or whichever. But normal, I guess normal is okay too. You know, it's what you prefer. Yeah. And then you lock it so you don't move it. But during output, to save your texture, make sure to turn off your UV map. Turn off your UV map. I'm repeating it over and over again because I say it, but students will still leave it on and they'll submit it with the UV mapping on, and it just it defeats the whole purpose. So pretend this is your texture, right? Here's your UV map. Turn off your UV map. Your texture is here. Yeah, your undercolor is whatever undercolor, and then you do Control Alt S. You save it as I like to do PNG. Yeah, I like to do it as PNG, or you could do JPEG. You can make it as JPEG, but from what I remember, PNG just stores more information. Or you could do TIFF, and name it like Frog King Body and Head Texture. And then you want to save it under your source images. Okay. Oof. Here's my other stuff. Frog King. God dang it. Frog King texture. And then hit enter. Blah blah blah. Just ignore all of this. Just hit OK. Hit OK. So you did that. Then you can go here, close that, and then you open up your hypershade. Okay. Then I'm gonna close this. Close that. I only need this. I don't need that. I'm gonna click my 3 stars, press tab key, type in AI standard surface, click it, zoom in, name it Frog King shader. Okay, Frog King shader. Right, and I'm gonna select it, right? Then middle mouse click and hold, drag and drop it here. Here, double click, open up your attribute editor, Frog King shader. See, verified it. Here it is. It's always good to name it. Go under your, close everything, go to your base. All right, I taught you guys all about this. Color, checker box. It'll bring this up. You need to create a file container box. Here's your file container icon to make that file container. Boom. It's grayed out because your file container is dark, right? There's nothing in there, right? Here's your file container that's connected to your base color. Your file container, open up your folder, Frog King texture.tiff. See, named it everything. Source images. Remember I told you guys to save it under source images. Hit open. Bam. There it is. As you can see, you could see the same line. See? And that was intentional because of the fact that I didn't have time, but now you can see the same line. So if you have some little intricate details, you have to be strategic about where you put your details in terms of if it's noticeable. Okay, see that? That's what you have to be careful about. But mine is extreme because I showed it just as jaggedy lines, random, so it's more noticeable. Okay, so that's, you see that, all of that. And then when I pop open UV editor, okay, select it. Now you can go click on this guy right there. There it is. See? And ta-da! There you have it. So have fun, and remember to save as a 2K map. I repeat, save it as a 2K map. All right? Remember here, and this guy right there, the camera, 2K map, 2048 by 2048. Right? If you save as a 1K, there's no going back. If you laid out all the colors and textures on a 1K map, you cannot up-res. You have to get it done right the first time. That's the main thing. And when you export your Photoshop image, hide your UV map, right, during this process. Hide it. Yeah. All right, that's it. That's the end of that. That should be pretty much everything. I did not have time to make the robe, right? But it's the same thing. It's the same thing. I'll make a tutorial on something like the ice cream cone because that was slightly different. Slightly different. I think it requires probably something a little bit different, but for the most part, they should do it. All right, that's it. Bye.